and welcome back to my channel. My name is Viola. I'm a photographer based in Austria, and today we're gonna talk about how to balance life and photography. One of the most important questions, whatever, for any photographer starting out, merging their hobby into a business, or also just having their hobby kind of separated from the rest of their life. So yeah, I'm not gonna ramble, I'm just gonna get right into it because this is probably gonna be really long because I'm really passionate about this topic, because it took me a while to get there and I'm still not perfect with it, but I'm doing my best. So yeah, let's get right into it. The reason why I'm so passionate about this is because a lot of people treat photography as their hobby for probably ever, because it's fun, and because usually a job isn't seen as something that's fun, like my 9 to 5, I guess. Obviously it's fun for me because I like graphic design, but it's not something that I'm really passionate about, that I can't wait to get to work and I can't wait to get to the office and do the things that I need to do. It's just work, you know. Obviously it's a creative work and I'm good at it, so it's kind of easy, but it's not my passion and my heart's burning for it or something. And but with photography, I'm really excited for every shoot. If I could, I would probably shoot or edit or do something with photography every single day of my life. And so it's kind of hard when you merge a hobby into a job to not treat it as a hobby fully, because obviously I do photography as a hobby partially, I don't know, on vacations, or photos of myself and stuff, that I see as the hobby part of my photography. But shooting a wedding a whole day, having a whole full day campaign shoot, that's not a hobby thing, that's a job thing. So you need to first off figure kind of out what parts of photography are still your hobby and that you just want to do to pass time or have fun and stuff, and what parts you actually want to make money from and see as your job. And you can totally have everything in photography be your hobby, or you can also have everything in photography be your job. You just need to kind of figure out what parts you want to assign the job title to, and what parts you kind of want to keep out of that and out of the things that I'm gonna tell you about in a second. The first thing that you need to do is you need to treat photography as your job. That's take my 9 to 5 for example. I work 30 hours a week there, and so once those 30 hours are up, unless obviously something really urgent is happening, but we're just gonna talk about the normal days. Once my 30 hours are up, I don't show up there anymore because I don't get paid more, or I don't have anything left to do, whatever. But with photography, it's really easy if you're your own boss and you get to decide how much time you spend on something, to just spend all of your time on it. But you can't do that because you're gonna get really burnt out and not inspired, and we don't want that. So what you need to do is you need to treat it similar to your 9 to 5 job, or just treat it as a job, because that's what it is. If it makes you money, it's a job. So you need to also during the day schedule in times where you work and times where you relax. I used to a couple of years ago edit photos all the time until I don't know, 2 in the morning while watching Netflix in my bed, and that's not work. That's just kind of taking all of my personal time and not having any time anymore for myself. So you need to kind of separate the two, and how I do that is typically right now I'm in home office, and so I work for my corporate job, 9 to 5 job. I work, let's say 6 hours a day. So I would get up at 7, start kind of doing my own emails and stuff between 7:30ish and 8. At 8 I do my corporate stuff until I go on lunch break. On lunch break I can be on Instagram and do whatever. Instagram obviously is a part of my job, so I'm not just scrolling, but I'm answering DMs or posting photos, preparing stories, all of that. And then once I'm done with my corporate job at, I don't know, let's say 3 o'clock in the afternoon, then I have another hour or maybe 2 hours that I spend on my photography. And so with that I have a really work-based day, obviously. But if I actually let's say I get done at 3 and then I get done with my photography work at 5, then I actually close my computer, I turn it off at 5. I do not look at Instagram anymore, I do not answer any emails, even if they're coming on my phone. I don't, because with my corporate job I also wouldn't go in at 7 in the evening and start answering emails. You just don't do that, because you know it's your job and you're off now. So you need to treat photography kind of similar, that you actually turn off your notifications, your emails, your computer, whatever it is, turn it off and just be done with it for the day, because nobody's gonna be it's not gonna be dramatic if you answer a couple hours or a day later to an email, a message or whatever. And you need to kind of set those boundaries for yourself so that you're not like completely overworking. And so going along with number 1 is my tip number 2 is you need to be the best boss you can be for yourself as anyhow possible. Like you need to be your own best boss, because I'm sure we all, like if you've like worked a corporate job before, obviously you have like a boss and they tell you what to do, and there's like great bosses that like support you, and that if I don't know, if you want to like leave 15 minutes early because you're already done with work, one boss is going to be like, yeah, okay, like, you know, you finished your work, you do you, you did everything that we needed from you today. And another boss is going to be like, no, you have to like sit here, and even if you're just like sitting here staring into the air, you need to finish those like 15 minutes and you can't leave early. Which boss would you rather have? The one that just cares about like numbers and like you need to stay there and you need to be like on time all the time, and you can't be like a second late and everything has to be like done right away, blah blah blah? Or would you rather have the boss that's like, I don't care if you start at 8 or at 9, and if you work until 4 or until 5, I don't care, as long as you get your work done? Which boss would you rather have? And so you need to kind of figure out which things about bosses you like and which things you want to implement on yourself as your own boss. Because if you work for yourself, obviously you're your own boss, and like you need somebody like kind of to tell you what to do, because let's be real, nobody really like wants to like do like work stuff. Obviously for me personally, shooting isn't like really a work thing because I really enjoy it, but like bookkeeping or like emails and stuff, that's not something I'm passionate about. So what I do as my own boss is I set a very realistic to-do list at either the evening before or the morning of, and then I just kind of work that off in the time that I've already scheduled in for myself. And with that scheduled time, I'm not gonna do any overtime, even if it's working for myself. I'm not gonna do it because I know what it's gonna lead to. I'm gonna be burnt out. I'm not gonna be creative. I'm not gonna be able to put 100% into my shootings or like into editing or anything if I'm just like burnt out all the time, and like that's not fun and that's not like great work that I'm gonna produce. So you need to like be your own best boss, treat yourself as a really good like person that you're working with, I don't know, and just kind of also treat it as a corporate job and set boundaries and really stick to those boundaries. What I also do is on weekends, obviously like in the summer on Saturdays I need to take on jobs because weddings are only on Saturdays, but during the summer I do not take one single like couple shoot, portrait shoot, whatever on a Saturday, because Saturdays are wedding days, and if I don't have a wedding on Saturday, I have that Saturday off because I need some time off too. And then pretty much all year I try not to do any work on Sundays because I just need to have like at least one day a week where I can actually like relax, lay in bed until 11 a.m. if I want to, watch Netflix, I don't know, go on like a 3-hour walk, not thinking about anything. You just kind of need to have those times in like your week, your month, whatever, where you just kind of take some time off and not completely like work yourself crazy. Because as I've said before, if you burn out, nobody, absolutely nobody is gonna benefit from it. Like maybe like the client that's stressing you out because they're gonna get their photos earlier, but it's not gonna be like 100% of your best work if you're just like burnt out and stressed all the time. And we don't want that, as I've said. So yeah, that's my tip number 2. Be your own best boss. Figure out like what works for you, what kind of boss you would want to work for, and be that boss. Number 3 is to set priorities. First we set boundaries, now we set priorities. When like, I'm gonna take my corporate job as an example again. If I like get in 3 emails at once, I get 8 a.m, I get 3 emails, and I know I need to do all of these like assignments during the day. I'm gonna look at all 3 emails and see which one is the most urgent, which one is like the biggest thing that I need to get done, like with the biggest volume, and like maybe which one can I just kind of squeeze in like at the end of the day or like sometime later, and like which one doesn't need as much thought. And you need to do the exact same thing with your shoots and clients and emails and whatnot, like all of that. And what I typically do, obviously clients always come before TFP shoots. So if I have, let's say on February 1st I shoot a TFP shoot, and on February 7th I shoot a client shoot, and I for some reason can only edit all of these like shoots on February like 8th. So of course I'm gonna start with the client shoot and not with the TFP shoot, even though the TFP shoot was earlier. But clients bring you money, so obviously they have priority. And they're just like what keeps your business running. TFP could kind of like a little bit like be the hobby side of photography, so it's not as important as any client work. And when it comes to client work, you obviously need to then prioritize like which clients are the most important. Do you have any like urgent things? do you have like a huge wedding to edit, or like a huge campaign shoot, and then another like small portrait shoot or something? So you're gonna probably do like the big thing of work first, try to fit in the smaller thing like somewhere in between, but still use your boundaries. Don't overwork yourself, don't stress out over anything. And what like kind of goes along with this, always rather like under promise and over deliver than being late or like not having like the perfect edit. So if I say to a client like you're gonna get your photos within 2 weeks and they get them within 3 weeks because I'm just a couple of days late, it's gonna be late. But if I tell them like you're gonna get your photos within 4 weeks, let's say, and they get them within like just under 2 weeks or 3 weeks or whatever, they're gonna be so happy because you over delivered. So always under promise and over deliver. That's always gonna be so much better. I also do that with weddings. In like my contract, my pricing packages, everywhere it says like an estimated delivery time, and typically that's between, I think, what did I write, 4 to 6 weeks, I think, because you know, in the summertime sometimes it can get crazy if you have like 2 huge weddings in a month. Obviously you're gonna take a little bit more time editing, so sometimes it can actually take like 5 to 6 weeks, but typically I'm done within like 3 or 4. But always under promise, over deliver. That's always like so much better. It also like kind of shows that you actually do work like really fast. Even like 3 weeks for a whole wedding, that's fast, because there's like thousands of photos and stuff, even though it like might not like seem that fast to you. But yeah, you need to get back to my point, you need to set priorities, and your TFP shoots cannot be like the first priority, obviously, or like maybe those shoots are like more fun or more creative, but you just need to focus on clients more than on like free TFP shoots. And yeah, also like higher volume jobs come oftentimes before like lower volume jobs, or you can kind of like schedule like in the morning I'll do the first half of that big job, and then midday I'm gonna do the little portrait shoot, and then in the afternoon I'm gonna like finish the big job up or something like that. So yeah, set boundaries and then set priorities. And lastly, number 4, separate your life from your business or hobby or whatever you want to call it. Example from my own life, my cousin is gonna get married next year in the fall, I think, and so she asked me to be her wedding photographer because kind of, you know, it's like kind of obvious, but if she wouldn't have asked, I could have just, you know, like bring my camera along with me and like shoot, and then I wouldn't be fully present at her wedding, and I also would definitely not do my best job as a wedding photographer if I'm not like in the job mindset, but I'm also not like in the fun mindset, because obviously I brought my camera with me. So you need to again set boundaries and like separate the two. And if you are at an event as a guest and like you just want to like be there to have fun, you need to leave your camera at home. You're not going to even offer to bring it if you don't want to, or you can just say, okay, you can pay me like this and this and I'll be there and shoot that. But then I don't know, let's say you shoot from like 6 to 8 and then from 8 to 10 you're just there to have fun, but then you actually need to put your camera away and just separate that like work time from your personal time. And that's exactly what I'm gonna do. I have no idea, like she just told me that she's gonna get married, so I don't really know like the details yet, but let's say she wants me like there as a photographer for 4 hours, but the actual like wedding celebrations are 8 hours. So I'm gonna be there 4 hours as a photographer, and once those 4 hours are up, I'm gonna pack my camera back away, I'm gonna put it in my car, I'm just gonna forget about it completely, and then be there for another 4 hours and just have fun with her and like the family and stuff. And you really need to separate those two, because if you don't, you're again gonna get burnt out. You're gonna be working all the time. You're not gonna be present at like fun events. You're not gonna be present at your job. You're just gonna be somewhere in the middle, and it's not fun. Trust me, it's not fun. I did that like when I was younger. I would bring my camera everywhere, like not on vacation, but like on like events and stuff. And it's just, as I've said, you're just not present like fully anywhere. And if you want to have like a great time with your friends at like an event, you need to like just get out of that work mindset, leave your camera alone at home. I don't know, because once you like kind of see photography as your job, as soon as you pick up the camera, you're working, and you're not just like, I don't know, taking photos for fun anymore. You're working because the camera is associated with like making money and your job, and so you're gonna be in the mindset of working. But if you want to have fun, you're not gonna work, you know what I mean? Even though like work can be fun, you're just gonna be in a different mindset. So yeah, those were my 4 tips for today. I rambled a lot. I hope that this like somehow made sense. If you have any questions, if you need any advice on these things, you can always message me on Instagram. I'm so happy to help you because I really struggled with some of these things in the beginning years, actually with all of them, in the beginning years of my photography. And I'm pretty sure a lot of other photographers out there are like kind of were in the same mindset, or maybe even still are, and just need to be told by somebody else to just snap out of it. Separate the 2, set priorities, set boundaries, separate your life from your hobby, make your hobby your job, and actually call it that. I actually had like a little Instagram message conversation with a person the other day saying that she is scared that people are not going to be like take her seriously because she now wants to pursue photography like as her job, or like start treating it as her job. And I told her that this is like the most shallow comparison ever, but just look at like influencers. Let's say I start posting on Instagram like as if I was an influencer. I'm gonna do like, I don't know, 30 stories a day, talk to the camera, post like really cute outfit photos, and like do a ton of reels. In the beginning, a lot of people are probably gonna think like, what's she doing? Like, what's she pretending to be? But if that strategy like works, and like a couple of years later I actually like become that influencer, everybody's gonna be like, oh, how did you do it? Like, how did this work? How did you get there? People are always gonna judge you at first. They're not gonna take you seriously. You just need to push through, and probably nobody thinks as much about you as you think about yourself. And like, you probably obsess over yourself so much more and like what other people think about you than what they actually are thinking about you, because nobody cares as much about other people as they care about themselves. I'm just gonna say it how it is. It's like with like those, obviously like this doesn't go for anything in life, but like with like these like work and social media stuff, nobody really cares. So just do you, and a couple years later people are gonna be like, oh my god, how did you do this? Oh my god, I want you to shoot my wedding, I want you to take portraits of me, you're so good. But in the beginning they wouldn't support you and they would laugh at you. So just like forget about those people. Don't mind what anybody else thinks, because it's your life and you can't let other people have any control over your life, especially if it's literally just about like an Instagram page, because essentially mainly photography businesses today are Instagram pages with like photos up there and then a website linked, and that's like your business. You don't have like a photography studio and like this shop or anything anymore. You literally just have like an online presence. And let's say that people really laugh at you and it makes you really uncomfortable. Guess what? You can just delete your Instagram page if it bothers you like so much, and nobody ever is gonna like see that again. But don't do that. Push through, and I'm sure you're gonna make it. Yeah, so my head kind of hurts now from rambling so much. I hope this somehow made sense. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any suggestions on topics that you want me to talk about, leave them down below or message me on Instagram. We can talk about anything. You can give me advice if you want to. I can give you advice if you want some. I don't know. And yeah, I hope to see you in the next podcast episode. Bye.